Stretching across the South American continent, the Andes carry a beauty that is both magnificent and incredibly harsh. Between the crashing Pacific and the freezing plateaus, nature reveals its cruelty through barren deserts. But right here in this land of extreme climate variations, the greatest seeds of civilization arose. Long before Westerners discovered the New World, this was the cradle of a glorious civilization. At an altitude of over 3,800 meters, hidden near the sacred Lake Titicaca, lie the mysterious ruins of Tiahuanaco. Located 90 kilometers from La Paz, the heart of this metropolis is Akapana, a colossal stepped pyramid structure, towering stone pillars. This is the Colossal Astronomical Observatory. The pinnacle of megalithic art is the Gate of the Sun, a single 10-ton andesite block carved into an archway. Reigning in the center is the Creator God with eternal tears, surrounded by 48 winged figures. Researcher Arthur Poznansky once asserted that this megalithic complex was 15,000 years old, built before the Great Flood. Although modern science dates it later, the mathematical and astronomical sophistication of Tiahuanaco remains a great mystery. Leaving Tiahuanaco on the arid Nazca Plateau, the ground turns into a massive sketchpad to converse with the gods. Spanning dozens of square kilometers, the trenches form over 40 giant animal figures measuring up to 200 meters. Screech tears through the silent space of the desert. With trenches only 30 centimeters deep, their geometric and mathematical intellect created perfect proportions. Sound of stone hose digging, scraping dry gravel to the sides. Despite anomalous weather and terrifying earthquakes in the Andes, the giant drawings remain intact for millennia. Inheriting those megalithic legacies, the Inca Empire began its rise. The thudding footsteps of thousands hitting the ground. Under the brilliant leadership of King Manco Capac, bloody expeditions turned a small tribe into an overlord. By the 15th century, the Inca had grown into a superpower, possessing a vast territory comparable to the Roman Empire. To manage millions of subjects across a fractured territory without a written language, the Inca invented the quipu. The quipu is not merely knotted strings. It is one of the most sophisticated tactile databases of the ancient world. Based on the base 10 system, the knot's position on the chord determines the value of units, tens, or thousands. A figure-8 knot represents 1, a long wound knot indicates counting numbers, and an invisible space denotes 0. Beyond numbers, colors carried qualitative classifications: yellow for corn, red for soldiers, and white for silver. Through a massive transport network, messengers running in relays for hundreds of kilometers daily, the hurried thudding of running feet, heavy panting echoing off the cliffs. This road system not only served trade from the coast inland, but was the lifeblood connecting centers of power. But this brilliant development was built on a deeply polarized social structure. Absolute power lay with the elite. Serfs made up the majority, enduring brutal forced labor to build palaces and extravagant monuments, the cracking sound of a leather whip tearing the heavy groans of laborers moving stones. Through the sweat and blood of tens of thousands, the Inca created megalithic architectural masterpieces that defy time. The massive stone blocks were honed so precisely without mortar that not even a thin blade could slip through the crevices. In fact, this multi-generational construction technique originated 5,000 years ago with giant pyramids like Sechin Alto. Architecture blended with religion. The Temple of the Sun in Cusco was once entirely faced with thousands of dazzling gold plates. Inside the temple was a mythical garden. Every branch was singing of birds, simulated by intricate metallic flute sounds. The Inca emperor was revered. He was a direct descendant of the sun god. He wielded absolute power, like Egyptian pharaohs. To feed a great empire on barren mountain slopes and in harsh climates, the Inca carried out a spatial revolution. Tens of thousands of hectares of terraces were carved precariously into cliffs, both expanding farmland and fighting sterile erosion. Accompanying it was a smart irrigation network, channeling water from millennial glaciers down to every thirsty plot. Defying natural laws, then radiated warmth at night from frost, the gentle simmering sound of vapor rising, pushing away the rumble of ice and snow. Mud dredged from the canal beds was utilized as an abundant organic fernic fertilizer, warming plant roots in the bitter winter. This is the great homeland of potatoes and maize, crops domesticated 5,000 years ago that saved humanity from famine. With scarce natural meat, the Inca invented a technique to freeze-dry meat under the biting cold of South America. Alongside agriculture, handicrafts flourished. Textiles with brilliant patterns appeared here 5,000 years ago. The rhythmic, steady clack of a wooden loom, but the true pinnacle was the metallurgy of pre-Inca cultures, epitomized by the great Moche metalworking craft. The huffing of furnace bellows, the intense sizzling of molten alloy. Using depletion gilding, they applied natural acids to dissolve copper in tumbaga alloys, retaining a shimmering exterior like solid gold. This greatness truly awakened when the Lord of Sipan's tomb was excavated, unveiling treasures thousands of years old. The Lord rested in gold-plated garments inlaid with gems, surrounded by bizarre divine symbols, radiating an aura beyond time. Archaeologist Craig Morris observed, "The splendor of the jewelry wasn't just aesthetic, but a blinding flash of it was the physical manifestation of divine power." Yet all the blinding glory of metal, sophistication of astronomers, could not stop his advance. The frantic neighing of horses, deafening gunshots, flames engulfed the screen. In 1532, the mighty Inca Empire completely collapsed, destroying thousands of years of wisdom. Priceless artistic masterpieces, carrying the souls of the gods, were ruthlessly looted and smashed by the invaders. They were melted down, cast into crude, lifeless golding to be loaded onto massive galleons headed for Europe. The sizzling of liquid gold, the brutal strike of a sledgehammer stamping the metal. Legend has it that to protect the empire's soul, hundreds of Incas carried a giant gold chain hidden deep in the Azangar Mountains. Though the capital fell, history and eternal ruins like Machu Picchu or the Gate of the Sun still stand proud, defying all destruction. The blood of those great inhabitants still flows in the veins of modern indigenous peoples. The quena flute plays a pure melody, blowing away the cruel echoes. They have receded deep into the past. But the aura of the Andean Golden Age will forever be the immortal epic of humanity.